There he is.
Hello, Kaden. I just said I sent the attendance and you will show up. Okay, thank you, buddy. Good morning, Kiara. Ding dong. All right. Good morning. Out to the Zoom land people. Kaden, Devin, Haley, Kiara. Who else do we have? Georgia.
And this week we don't have Friday. That's them, right?
That's them, right? Okay. Why we have people online talking to us? Zoomers, can you see my screen? Yes?
Yeah.
Awesome.
What's the meeting code then?
Okay, so could everybody go to classroom, including the people in the room? Hold on, let me get my little sparkle. My little sparkle machine. Okay, and then in stream, you've got your bulletin board, Zoom, and then you have SSR. SSR is Sound of Summer Running, okay? Graphic organizer, please open that up. I don't know why everything is selected. Okay. And then for now, you're gonna have to split your screen. And go back to classroom, to stream. What the heck just happened there? Good morning, Kate. Okay, go back to stream, and right underneath where it's the graphic organizer, you will find the text for the Sound of Summer Running, which you're gonna need. I want you to listen to directions. When you open up the Sound of Summer Running text, you need to open it. I'm going to go to full screen here. You need to open it with Cami. Okay. If you don't get the pop-up asking you for the OCR to run the OCR, you need to, well, let it load first. Mine's taking a little bit. Okay. So I did not get the pop-up for the OCR. So you're going to come over to these three lines where it's the menu, click on it, click on OCR for scanned PDFs. And that sometimes takes a little bit to work. I think it should be working and it's not. That should give you the ability to copy and paste text into the graphic organizer. So you see how mine is reloading now? If I tried to copy and paste before that, it wouldn't work. So Caden, you need the graphic organizer today and the text.
Yeah, it does work.
Okay. Anybody need help in the room? Skylar, you have both those documents open? Zion, you have both of them open? Okay. Cara, you good? Caden, you catching up? Okay. All right. So everybody in Zoom land, if you don't chime in and talk to me, I'm assuming that you have what you need and you opened with Cami, yes? I'm asking people in Zoom land.
Yeah, so that Cami, it's on Cameo, it's not all opened.
It's all open, Haley? You're good? Okay, so let me just show you on my screen. So if you're home, could you put my screen on? Could we not see the doggy's tail right now, Devin? No, doggies can get in your way sometimes. All right, could everybody at home and in the room look at my screen for a moment? Which would be the big screen in the room? Okay, So in order to copy and paste, just to walk you through it again, right? We all know how to use the drawing tool and pick a color and underline, right? Your text from yesterday's work should be pretty sloppy like mine, where it's underlined and labeled and whatever. I might have gotten rid of some of them, but you could see where I found my answers to the multiple choice questions yesterday, right? Okay. If today, when I'm filling out my graphic organizer, I want to copy and paste a text from the text right into the graphic organizer to make my life easy, I'm going to come up to this arrow up at the top of Cami. I'm going to click on it because that's my selection tool. And then I'm going to find the text that I want to copy and paste. And it's not exact. I don't know why. So I would highlight or select the text that I want, right? And then, hello. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, and then, I don't know how to copy it up here. Let's go to menu. Well, if you're using a mouse or your keyboard, you can right click and then just copy and then paste. I am not sure. Does anybody know how to copy if you don't have a mouse? Control C. Oh, duh, Miss Jost. Miss Jost is not awake. All right. So there it is. I knew that. I really did know that. So the key things are Control and then C. Are you laughing at me, Kiara? That was a pretty dumb thing. How do I do this? I don't know. I forgot. Okay. So that's how to do that. Okay. All right. Everybody good with that? Anybody have any questions about that? How to use the select? Skylar, you good with that? Zion, you good with that? All right. So I'm going to switch back over to the graphic organizer, and you can do this as well on your screen. You can pull up your graphic organizer. So you should be manipulating your screen right now and pulling up your graphic organizer. This one has a sneaker at the top because, you know, I think that's the symbol. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. It is a sneaker. It is a tennis shoe. Okay, so this is the same graphic organizer setup that we used last week for 11. All right, let's take a look at the question. It says a symbol is a person, place, or thing that stands for something else. For example, a heart shape is often used as a symbol of love. In a well-written claim evidence paragraph, identify the symbol in The Sound of Summer Running by Ray Bradbury. Explain what you think the symbol stands for. Be sure to cite 2 pieces of evidence and write in proper paragraph format. Okay, that should look very familiar, yes? Okay, so what am I going to underline to tease out what it is I have to do? Somebody tell me, or what am I going to highlight? So first of all, how do I have to write the answer to this question? What's the format I need to use, Bella? Okay, hold on. Let me do this. So down here, I'm going to cite 2 pieces of evidence. Cite with a C, C-I-T-E means you're going to copy and paste, right? Okay, so I'm going to highlight that in yellow. What else tells me how I have to answer the question?
It says how explain what your symbol stands for.
No, that's what I have to do. I'm asking about the how. What format am I going to use? Page? Yeah, there you go. In a well-written. So you guys, if I'm highlighting something, you should highlight it as well, right? Okay. So in yellow is telling me how I'm going to do it, right? When I get all done with my graphic organizer, I need to write a well-written claim evidence paragraph with 2 pieces of evidence. Yes? Okay. So what's my question? Zion, what's the question? What is my task? What do I have to write about? Say again? Well, what about The Sound of Summer Running? What's the question? And this wordy direction thing, where do I find what I have to write about? Caden, what do you think? What should I highlight about what I have to do? Gentlemen are sleeping on me today. Cara, what do you think? What do you think? Guys, this is the thing. If you can't figure out what the question is, you're going to be at a loss throughout the rest of the school year. You need to figure out what it is you have to write about. Yes, we have to write about the sound of summer running, but what specifically do we have to write about? Go ahead, Caden. No, well, maybe, but guys, stop, put your hands down and listen, please. Okay. Could you kindly look at the directions, which are right here that I just read? We did this last week together. Okay. Look at the directions and figure out where in the directions it tells us what we have to write about. Yes, we have to write about the sound of summer running. We probably will write about the shoe, but what exactly do we need to write about? Anybody out in Zoom land want to take a stab at this? Yeah, Devin, turn your mic on.
Douglas.
Where does it say Douglas in the question? Guys,
I don't.
Okay, let me put your hands down. Let me read it again. I know some of you know, that's great. I'm trying to get other people that are confused to understand, okay? All right, so the directions say, I will read it again, and I'm right here. A symbol is a person, place, or a thing that stands for something else. For example, a heart shape is often used as a symbol of love. Is that telling me what to do? No. Is that giving me information that I might need? Maybe. It's giving me the definition and an example of a symbol. I haven't figured out what I have to do with that yet, okay? The next part, in a well-written claim evidence paragraph, which Bella said is how we have to answer, right? It says, identify the central symbol in the sound of summer running by Ray Bradbury. Explain what you think the symbol stands for. What is all of that from identified to the word for? What does that, why is that in my directions? I'm waiting for other people to catch on. Zion, why is this here? Identify the central symbol in the sound of summer running by Ray Bradbury. Explain what you think the symbol stands for. Why is that in my directions? What is that? How does that help me answer the question? What is that? Yeah, that's what I have to write about. Okay, yes, I have to write about the sound of summer running. Maybe it's the shoe, but I don't know yet. But what I have to do in my paragraph is identify the central symbol in the story. Okay, so I'm going to highlight that in this aqua color. And then that's not the only thing I have to do. I also have to explain what I think the symbol stands for. You could, but I'm just trying to tease out what exactly I have to do. When we write our claim statement, we will use the author's name, yes. Okay? All right. So that's what I have to do. This should look familiar because we did the same exact question with a different story last week together. Okay? Now, if you look back at your graphic organizer, you have a claim statement and a /focus statement box. That's where you're going to take the stuff in blue and you're going to turn it around and answer the darn question. Okay? Then you have a detail where you have to quote directly from the text. That's where you're going to go back to the text, like a little detective, find a sentence or two that proves whatever we say in our claim statement is true, and copy and paste it there. Then you're going to analyze that. How does that detail prove whatever we write up here? And then you're going to do it all over again and find a second detail. Could everybody fix their graphic organizer? Because there's a mistake there. In the second analysis of number 2, there was a typo there. Okay. In the second green box where it says analysis of detail number 2, explanation of detail number, and it should read 2. Mine said 1. Okay. And then of course the concluding sentence where you restate your claim. So since we had such a hard time figuring out what it is we had to do in this, let's take the words in the question or in the task, identify the central symbol in the sound of summer running by Ray Bradbury. Explain what you think the symbol stands for. And let's figure out how we're going to answer this question. So what is the central symbol in the story, Carl? The tennis shoes or the sneakers, right? Okay. What do they stand for? There's a couple of things that they could stand for. So pick something that you can prove easily with the text. What's one idea that they stand for? Okay, they might stand for freedom. You know what I'm going to do? On my copy, you don't have to do this on your copy, but on my copy, I'm going to just make a list of different things that this could stand for. Okay, so one could be freedom. What's another one? What's another one that they could stand for? Freedom, what else? Bella? Newbie, yeah, you could, yeah, I haven't heard that one, but yes, I think that's certainly one you can prove. Summer. What else? What does he think he could do with these shoes? Not just run around. He thinks he could jump as high as the clouds. He thinks he could jump over houses and rivers and things. So maybe a little bit, I think the word in the story was magic, right? Okay, now, anybody out in Zoom land have any other ideas? Chime in now.
I have a question.
You have a question. Who's talking to me?
What, Maddie?
Who's talking to me? Maddie, go ahead.
I have what are we on right now?
So
Because
we
I
are
just
working on Sound of Summer running, Maddie. I know you got here late. In stream, there's like underneath the bulletin board and the Zoom meeting link, there is a SSR claim evidence graphic organizer. That's what we're on. And then you also need the text stuff. Okay, so all of you are going to pick whatever you want the shoes to symbolize that you think is going to be easy to prove. Okay, so let's just do the claim statement together. So somebody take the wording of the question or the task and turn it around into an answer. Alex.
The central symbol in the summertime library is
Jost can't type symbol in. Okay, just give me a second to type this. Okay, so I'm going to put like a little blank here on my screen. Okay. Is that all that you have to write about?
yes.
No, it is not. That takes care of this first part. What else do I have to do?
You have to
Explain what the symbol stands for. So I need another part of my claim statement. So you could say, okay, I'm sorry, I should have just filled this in with the sneakers. Sorry. I was ahead of myself. Okay, is summer is the one that I'm going to pick. Okay. No, hold on. Mrs. Joseph's confused this morning. Hold on.
do we have to pick one that you picked, or can we choose our own?
Let me back up because I was ahead of myself in my brain and I typed the wrong thing. So let me just back up. I should write the central symbol in the Sound of Summer running by Ray Bradbury is the tennis sneakers. We can all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody's first sentence is going to read that way, right? And then, and I think this will answer your question, and I think that was Haley, we're going to take the next part of the question right here, explain what the symbol stands for. When we're going to say the sneakers symbolize, and here's where you're going to put a blank in because you can all pick whichever one you want to write about. You're going to put freedom or new beginnings or summer or magic to Douglas, right? Now, if you wanted to be really adventurous, you can make the sneakers symbolize something to Mr. Sanderson, and then you might say childhood. Okay. So all of you should have something like this in your first box. Okay. I will put this back up. Could everybody in the room turn your screen away? Could everybody stop typing and pay attention to Mrs. Jost, because you're going to have to do this independently from this point on. So turn your screen away and listen. All right, so I'm going to reduce this. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is go and find in the text where I find proof, right? So if you're saying freedom, you got to find proof of where it says freedom. If you're saying magic, I'm going to go to that part of the story right here. Oops, oh, look at that. It highlighted it for me. I'm going to go right here and I'm going to find the part where it talks all about magic. I'm going to copy and paste it into the box for the quote, right? What can you use, children, if you get lost and you're not in class? What can you use to help you figure out how to do the graphic organizer today? Paige? Not maybe the 11 graphic organizer, the 11 graphic organizer. If you forget what to do, you can go back to the one that we did together. Mrs. Jost also put the example one, the completed one. It might not be from this class, it might be from another class, but it is there. Okay, so if you get lost, that's what you can do. If I'm in the room, you can ask me. Okay, so anybody have any questions? This needs to be done today because tomorrow you write the paragraph.
I'm just gonna look for evidence for the one first and then analyze it and then go to this.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways.
Fill in the blank.
Right, there's a couple of ways to go about that. Like I tend to like to find all my evidence first and put them on the graphic organizer. But you don't have, but I think sometimes with kids, if you find your one piece of evidence, analyze it, you're done with that. So find your second piece of evidence, analyze it, you're done with that. But all the boxes need to be filled in today. Okay, and then what I would do is I would look at the one from 11 and I would compare them and make sure you did it correctly. All right, questions? All right, so I'm going to let you work. Guys, in Zoom land, I'm going to keep the Zoom open so that if you need me, I am here, but I'm going to stop recording so that people that might watch this later don't have to watch us working independently. If I could figure out how to do that.